It's Press Pass with Jack Ebling, Mid-Michigan's spirited sports debate. Now let's get talking sports. Here's Jack.
Great evening, Mid-Michigan and beyond. You're watching Press Pass here on Fox 47, and it is time to meet Team 249, Graham Couch, sports columnist for the Lansing State Journal, and for any team that's looking for a trash-talking low-riser, here's your man. Would you be willing to sign for the exemption? Do you have any negotiations in progress we should know about?
Yeah, my price is always about whatever the minimum exemption is in the NBA. Jack, I'm just happy to be the second skinniest guy on the panel tonight. So.
Well, I don't think Joe's
going to be that kind of show, Graham.
Well, we want to welcome in Darian Harris, 5-year MSU linebacker, co-captain of the 2015 Big Ten champions, graduate student, aspiring broadcaster, lover of all sports, and future athletic director. And you got to be in your glory right now between the NBA and the World Cup.
Yeah, I'm going to try to contain myself for the duration of the show with the news that we just got with LeBron James signing to my Los Angeles Lakers. It's been a tough last several years as a Lakers fan, but
nobody feels bad for you.
Of course not. But as you know, I'm a huge LeBron James fan and advocate. I think he's the best player of all time, and for him to sign a 4-year deal with the Los Angeles Lakers is phenomenal. And what's going to happen in the next 24 hours with everybody talking about that is going to be crazy. So see where the dominoes fall with that. It's going to be pretty interesting to see what happens.
What else has to happen for you to think that the Lakers can unseat the Golden State Warriors? Joe Rexrode just said, doesn't matter, Warriors in 6.
Well, yeah, obviously, you're going to need a couple more pieces. I mean, you can't do it with LeBron James and a bunch of kids right now. So you're going to need to figure out some way to try to pull off a Kawhi deal. It was reported that LeBron wasn't going to be the first domino to go to Los Angeles, but here, by and large, he is. Maybe trying to get DeMarcus Cousins, even Clint Capella is a name out there. So you're going to need a few more guys, but just to see LeBron in the Lakers uniform is going to be pretty crazy. The 23, Jordan's number, and Kobe's jersey, that's pretty interesting.
We want to welcome back Joe Rexrode as a terrific beat writer for Lansing State Journal and Detroit Free Press, now award-winning columnist for the Tennessean in Nashville, and a 2-state National Sportscaster of the Year. Joe, welcome back.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be back. I demand a weigh-in after the show, Graham.
Yeah,
We're going to settle this
right now.
I want to know, Darren, as a Lakers fan, you would not be old enough to remember when Bill Laimbeer didn't foul Kareem but got called for it? Are you familiar with this?
No.
We're going to have to go to YouTube after the show, too.
There we go.
He won't be a Lakers fan by the time Joe's done with him, I'll tell you that. We will be back in just a couple of minutes, and we're going to talk NBA. We'll have our Tracking a Trophy segment, breaking down all the free agent news, coming up on Press Pass.
I'm here at Checkers and Rallies. They just dropped a new peach mango island slushie. Ooh. I could taste the peach. I could taste the mango. Oh my God, the brain freeze. Ah! Checkers and Rallies. Fast foodies know the deal.
Vaccine-preventable diseases like measles, whooping cough, and more are still a risk because many children aren't vaccinated. Diseases that were once virtually erased are now being passed from one child to another. Mom! There's no way to know who's next.
That's why I vaccinate.
Get the facts at ivaccinate.org.
Looking for a used car? Then look to Shaheen Chevrolet. We have Lansing's largest selection of used cars and trucks, late models, low miles, and no worries, because our GM certified pre-owned vehicles come with a detailed history report, 2 warranties, and included maintenance. You even get free OnStar and XM radio, all at Shaheen's great low price. And find special internet deals at ShaheenChevrolet.com. You get a better used car deal because you get a better used car at Shaheen Chevrolet.
You won't get it anywhere else.
I'm outside of Checkers and Rallies. They got a brand new steak burger. Let's get in there. Whoa! The new crispy mushroom or Philly cheesesteak burger, just $1.99. Checkers and Rallies. Fast foodies know the deal.
You're watching Fox 47's Family of Stations.
At Graf's, we're kicking off summer right, and we're cooking on some hot car deals, too.
Order for another hot car deal, Dad.
You got it.
Get into a 2018 Equinox for only $136 per month.
That's a hot one. And Graf will give you $2,000 more than the appraised value of your trade.
Or Graf will make up to 6 payments for you with Graf Lease Pull Ahead.
Looks like we need another hot deal.
Drive off a Silverado double cab for just $140 a month.
Hey, I want to try this. Hot deals coming up. Oops. Chris, it's all in the wrist.
The Knapp Center is a historical hub for future business growth in beautiful downtown Lansing.
The Ide Company did the best they could to preserve the integrity of the history of this building while incorporating a modern open workspace.
They have been prompt, they have been efficient, and they really are a friendly, great group of people that we don't have any concerns about calling them for any of our needs.
Opportunities for retail, office, restaurant, and residential. Build the future as a member of the Ide Company family.
If you judge us on one summer, that's ridiculous. Then a lot of dudes shouldn't be in their roles. I mean, because if we're banking on one summer for the Lakers, we're in trouble, right? We're in trouble because you have to give us time. This class, like I told you before I took the job and when I took the job, it's going to be a 2-summer thing for the Lakers. This summer and next summer. And that's it. And then if I can't deliver, I'm going to step down myself. She won't have to fire me. I'll step away from it, you know, because then I can't do this job, you know. And so, but so far, so good.
Earvin Magic Johnson, he won't be stepping down. You talk about 6 All-Stars available this year, 8 more next year, but Darian Harris landed the big fish. News tonight that LeBron James is going to be a Laker.
Yeah, definitely landed a big fish. I mean, Magic Johnson had that press conference, and they were kind of calling him out for not doing a job, and he said, listen, I'm Magic Johnson. You know, I've been in these moments before. I've been to 9 finals. I know how to handle high-pressure situations. And not just did they sign LeBron James, they signed him for 4 years, which means that Magic got LeBron to buy into the plan that you know, next summer is going to be another big one for the Lakers to sign a couple other guys as well. So to get a guy like LeBron James, who's been notorious for signing 1-year deals, he kind of started that trend as well as signing 1-year deals and then figuring out every summer to sign a 4-year deal. You know, he'll be 37 by the end of this contract. It shows that what they're selling is something to really be taken seriously.
Graham Couch, how important was it for the Lakers to be able to pull this off and have LeBron be the first one to commit to come when they didn't get Paul George and he re-upped with OKC?
Well, you do have a really good class next year, so it's not like if you failed a little bit and you got a young nucleus, it's okay. But this is obviously huge because people want to play with LeBron. He's the type of player that, you know, facilitates offense, that is always going to be in play late in the playoffs. So I think people will follow him or will try to get there. You may get some discounts to get there now, and obviously when Magic's talking a big game, this is about as big a deal as you can pull off.
And who knows? There's still Boogie Cousins out there, some other players who might want to come to L.A., and there's still talk about Kawhi Leonard. Joe Rexroad, where will Kawhi be playing in the 2019 playoffs?
You know, I would have said I think Philadelphia, just as a guess before this, but I'm gonna say the Lakers. Now, obviously, you know, the Spurs have to agree to a deal. The Lakers have to give up a lot. I would really love to know if, like, moving Lonzo Ball was part of the agreement for LeBron to come. I mean, that's going to be really interesting. I don't see how they fit that well together.
And some of it sometimes, you look at what Danny Ainge didn't do last year and what Tatum then becomes and some of your young pieces. I don't think there's anything really wrong in L.A. with seeing what a couple of these young parts become another year. And then do you want to go after a Jimmy Butler as a free agent a year from now? Kyrie Irving, well, obviously with LeBron, that's probably not going to be the play. But there are.
Not going to be that one.
It's
L.A. though.
It's a pretty good class a year from now, too.
We could not get Magic on the show tonight or Rob Pelinka, but we do have Lakers Assistant General Manager Darian Harris with us. Darian, what would you give, now that you know LeBron is there, to Greg Popovich? You get on the phone. What would you offer to get him to change his mind and send Kawhi to L.A.?
Oh, I'm throwing a house at him. You know, last year we saw an emergence of Brandon Ingram. We saw what he could do. We saw that Kyle Kuzma was probably the steal of the draft. We know, you know, Julius Randle's probably unrestricted free agent right now, but Josh Hart is another guy that came along and had a pretty good year. and they're probably not going to want Alonzo Ball because they don't want to deal with LeVar. So you're thinking about those 3 players plus some
Mo
picks,
Wagner's name I've heard mentioned a lot.
Throw it all at them. This is a win-now league. You know, LeBron's going to be here for another 4 years. You know, we know he's a government-made, you know, individual. He's having a career that kind of mirrors that of Tom Brady being able to play till you're 40. But you only got superstar LeBron for another couple years. You want to be able to make a run at the finals.
Joe, what about the idea of waiting, letting Kawhi play out his contract, and then you get him and you don't have to give anything up? Or is that too risky in light of what we've just seen with Paul George?
Yeah, the crazy thing here is, like, before very recently, I would have guessed Paul George. I mean, we always thought he wanted to go back to LA, wanted to play with LA, and it would not. You know, I thought LeBron was going to end up coming back to Cleveland. Yeah, I mean, I think as Graham pointed out there, you know, you've got a small window, but maybe you look at it as kind of a 2-year thing. And you know, you've got a year. You're going to be a good team right away. You're going to be a playoff team next year. Right. But if you kind of see how some things work with LeBron, and then a big market next year. But you know, at the same time, there's such an expectation that wherever LeBron goes, it is to load up right now and go after it.
I think the fear would be that Brandon Ingram becomes a perennial all-star, and Kawhi Leonard's never the same player, and all of a sudden you made a trade that actually isn't the better player. And I would be a little bit hesitant about loading up by the Lakers for Kawhi Leonard given last year.
What about the Pistons and the acquisition, a 2-year deal with Glenn Robinson III?
I like it. It's cheap. It's a team option for the second year. I think it's $8 million. In the NBA these days, that's really inexpensive, and it's a last chance for Glenn Robinson to be anything more than a journeyman. So 40% three-point shooter, I like the deal.
There's some other teams that have made moves too. Watch the Phoenix Suns now. Getting Trevor Ariza to go with what they got in the draft, they're on the way up. We'll be right back with more coming up here on Press Pass.
Team spirit, face paint, more cowbell. Dean Trailway's Motor Coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin to the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
The Student Bookstores are Green and White Shop headquarters. Outfit your entire family with Spartan gear. We have a large selection of men's, women's, and children's clothing. Show off your Michigan State pride with new shoes, socks, hats, and more. Have your tailgate ready with MSU party supplies, car accessories, and dress your pet in green and white. We have gifts for students, grads, alumni, and fans. From Vera Bradley and Dooney and Burke to diploma frames and more. Always shop SBS for the biggest and best selection of green and white. Go green, go white, go SBS.
Download the Fox 47 Storm Shield app and stay in touch everywhere you go.
Ladies, an uplifting message from Bras That Fit. You become what you believe. Envision the way that you want to look. No matter what size and shape you are, it's all in our name. Bras That Fit.
You work hard for your money and you deserve to keep it. Why pay $199 to jumpstart your insurance for 7 days when you can start a 6-month policy for less? 30 days with Stop Point Insurance costs less than 7 days with them. Everyone approved, no matter your driving history. Guaranteed. Call today, save today.
The newly redesigned 2018 Subaru Outback. It comes with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive plus an economical 32 miles per gallon. And Subaru has the 2017 lowest 5-year cost to own, according to Kelley Blue Book. This may be our most adventurous Outback yet.
Lease a 2018 Subaru Outback for $217 per month with 0% financing on select models. Test drive one today at Williams Subaru.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for The Big Picture. Brought to you by Dean Trailways. With trips for every season, Dean takes care of the details so you can enjoy the experience, including daily casino runs and great getaways to northern Michigan and Chicago. That's Dean Trailways, your favorite ride. Russia, big win today. Who would have believed it? Over Spain. A lot of people are saying, hey, maybe Spain would come out of that side. That's all the soccer I know, so I'm telling you right up front. Joe Rexrode, the United States does not make it into the World Cup. Couldn't handle mighty Trinidad and Tobago. Germany, defending champion, is out. Spain is out. And now the two best players in the world, Ronaldo of Portugal, Messi from Argentina, gone. What do you think the interest in the World Cup is going to be the rest of the way in the United States?
I know a 10-year-old whose interest dipped severely with Messi gone, and
Okay.
I think that's part of this. When you have two stars like that, it helps bring in people. You know, I don't know. I really don't even know exactly how the ratings are in terms of what they were hoping for. Right. But I feel like viewership has been pretty good, and just interest has. I mean, we've had it on every morning. You know, the two games. I know a lot of people who have been watching it. I think certainly the United States being in would have made a difference, but maybe less of a difference, you know, than maybe even just the last World Cup or one before that. And I feel like there's a lot more momentum, and a lot of people who are into different international teams know the players better. So I still think there's excitement for this here. That like in '94 when it was here, to me it was still like, you know, if a tree falls in the woods and that.
Do you have some excitement for the World Cup or for soccer?
Well, I think it's both, but I think the World Cup just because, you know, now you've got the bracket, the 16 teams, and I think people can embrace that sort of format. I think both together still the best brand you can have here in this country.
American soccer fans have fallen in love with this men Blazers concept, right? We have our guys here. Darian Harris and Graham Couch, and I just want you two to take it for a couple of minutes here. Tell our viewers everything that they need to know about the next 2 weeks so they can enjoy the World Cup 1/10 as much as you will.
In Scottish accents,
In
please.
Scottish accents. Look, I think the big thing is a couple teams to watch. France, England, Belgium, Brazil. Those are the teams. Now, you know, what you saw from France against Argentina, I think was really telling. That's a young team loaded with talent that is taking a step up. I'm curious to see Brazil, much like Spain, maybe doesn't have quite the firepower they've had in years past, but still, look at these guys sleeping.
Yeah.
But and Belgium, to me, to this point, has been the best team in the tournament. Uruguay looks good early, but I don't know. Your thoughts?
No, I think that for soccer fans, as you and I are, it's been a great tournament. But I think that, you know, the question posed to Joe was a good one, because what we know in America and in all sports is we know stars.
Mm-hmm.
The two biggest are out.
Yep.
If Neymar goes out tomorrow, that's the third biggest is out. And at least people in my generation, those are names we know. But, you know, if you watch France play, the young kid Mbappe, he's 19 years old. He's probably the best young, you know, the young kid in the world right now. I mean, that's a great player to watch. That's somebody that people can have their eyes on. So just watching good quality soccer, I mean, it's such a great sport. It takes such a talent to play it. These athletes are phenomenal. You just want there to be a much more profound interest in the U.S., but the U.S. has to make it. You got to be in it, and like I said, you got to be in it in 2026. You know, when it's here.
But if you and they will be automatically in it, right? In that case.
Right.
But also, if you like the Warriors, and I know Joe does, and I know our sleeping friend over here, Jack Ebling, does, then you should like soccer, because there's no other sport where the ball moves like it does in soccer in tight spaces. The ball moves like it does when the Warriors are really rolling in the third quarter. That is a lot of World Cup matches.
People's problem with soccer is there's no scoring. Argentina, France was 4-3. Yeah. They were scoring in that game. That was an exciting game. So hopefully there's a lot more of those.
And it's the tension you have to love. It's not just the actual result of the scoring. I mean,
are we there yet? Okay, we'll be right back.
You guys sold me.
We're going to have our Law of the Jungle segment talking about the Detroit Tigers coming up next here on Press Pass.
Team One, Michigan's fastest growing Chevy, Buick, and GMC dealer, is now the fastest growing in pre-owned. Go to team1charlotte.com and you'll see why. Any car, any budget, no worries, they're at Team One. If you don't get your certified pre-owned vehicle from Team One, you're just getting used.
The 2018-19 season at the Potter Center in Jackson is spectacular. Rock the night with Blue Oyster Cult and Mark Farner's American Band. Listen to the uplifting music featuring Jeremy Camp and Matthew West. Spend a magical evening with Bill Blagg. Country artists Aaron Tippin, Colin Ray, and Sammy Kershaw. a holiday rock event for the whole family, the Wizards of Winter. And 10-time Grammy winner CeCe Winans. With individual and season tickets now on sale. Go online or call the Jackson Potter Center today.
Send us your pics that show us your favorite patriotic kid to YesPics at fox47news.com. Sponsored by The Camera Shop.
More fun, no filters. Modern Family Nightly.
Weeknights at 6. Advanced technology and forecasting. Storm Shield weather. Only on Fox 47 News.
Are you ready?
You are hot.
I'm in a sweet spot. I'm feeling good. The sun is shining.
Wake up.
So, I got my start in officiating when a friend told me I should try it. At first I just did basketball, and I got hooked. Before long, I added baseball, softball, football, and volleyball. I really enjoyed giving back to the game, working with kids, and working with my local association to recruit and train new officials. I would like to say to anybody that officiating is a great way to help kids and stay connected to the game. We always need new officials. There's help wanted, just listen.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Law of the Jungle segment, brought to you by Retirement Protection Services and longtime area financial advisor Jack Vogler. Earn interest based on stock market performance with zero exposure to market downturns. Give Jack a call at 339-4777. That's 339-4777. I'm glad I did. Detroit Tigers, losers of 11 in a row. They're down 1-0, and what is this? A bases-loaded bunt by Leonis Martin. Messed up his hamstring. He's on the DL as a result of that. But the next batter, Nicholas Castellanos, goes the opposite way for a grand slam homer. Puts the Tigers up 5-1. They go on to win 9-1. All the runs they couldn't get the past 11 games, they were saving them up. Graham Couch, what have we learned from a team that was 36-37 and breathing down the necks of the Cleveland Indians just 2 weeks ago?
Well, we knew this was going to happen.
You did.
I knew. Look, this is what happens to bad teams. You go on a 10-game losing streak at some point. Now, I thought it was going to be a little bit later because you look at the stretch of mid-July and who they face. Then there's one in late August for about 14 games where 11 of them are really difficult. I thought it was going to happen later in the year a little bit. But it was going to happen because you look at the lineup most nights, they put it out there with Victor Martinez in the cleanup spot and the guys hitting around him, and you go, that's sometimes just barely a major league lineup. And at some point, that's going to catch up with you.
Joe Rex wrote, it was 1 month ago that Graham Couch said on this show and repeated it on the Drive with Jack and Tom, that the Tigers would have a 10-game losing streak. They actually had an 11-game losing streak, so do we give them credit for that?
That's true. Technically not right. No, that's impressive. We were talking about this recently, and I guess you took some guff from some Tigers fans because they went on a winning streak when you first made that call.
They won those 5 in a row. People are calling, Coach, what does he know?
I get that a lot, and most of them are right, so I tend not to push back.
Darian, Tigers pitching coach Chris Bosio fired this week for using the term spider monkey. He said it was a nickname for relief pitcher Daniel Stump, which turned out to be news to Daniel Stump. But a black clubhouse assistant took umbrage at this and thought it was directed to him. Did they do the right thing with Bosio, and what should we know about this stuff by now?
Yeah, I mean, what you should know is it's not acceptable. I mean, I know we're living in a sensitive time, but in any circumstance, it's not acceptable. So if it was directed at the clubhouse representative, then absolutely did the right thing. I mean, it's a weird situation because of what some said. He said, I've never been called that. That's never been my nickname. So, you know, kind of not to make light of the situation, but if that's indeed true and you're going to lie about that, at least make sure the other guy is in on the lie. Because he came right and said, no, I've never been told that. I've never been called that. So, I mean, if it was directed at, you know, African-American employee, you got to go. You have to go. But as you said, I mean, at this day and age, when things are going to blow up, everything's out there on social media and stuff, to me, it's just not hard to not make these mistakes. Just don't do it. Just don't say it. It's not that difficult.
Joe, remember Howard Cosell with his comment about that little monkey? Look at him go. Can we just stay away from all ape references?
Yeah.
Probably a good idea.
Well, you would think, and to Darian's point, I mean, especially, not that at any point in history it was okay, but it's confounding that we're still running into these things right now. 2018.
My question, I think the Tigers did the right thing. Obviously, they did it before it blew up. They didn't need to be prompted to do it. The question is, if it's a $30 million pitcher, what's the reaction instead of your pitching coach? And that's what we don't know.
Good question.
Sometimes it's situational discipline, right?
Yeah.
Joe, just about everyone who's been on this panel in the last couple months had a chance to weigh in on the Tigers' prospects for this season. We've had predictions of everything from 57 wins up to 83 wins. Where they are right now at 37 and 48. What do you see them being at the end of the season? And can you give me a couple of players that might not be there after the trading deadline?
First of all, who picked them to win 83 games?
Can I tell the name? Fred Thompson, who's an assistant here on the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that's fine. I would have gone 70-92 going into the year. I think Graham, I haven't looked at the schedule as closely as you have. Now that they've gone through this rut and it's going to be the dog days and they're going to sell, and I'm going to go, how about 65 and what would that be, 97? I think they just missed losing 100 games.
And that's where I've had right under the 67.5, which is the over-under win mark going into the year. I think I'm pretty firm on that.
And in terms of marketable players, my question is Castellanos. Is he a foundational piece? Or
playing great. He's an all-star player this year.
Right. So now would be the time, if you don't believe he is, to get value for him, but I don't know.
And you still have him under contract for a few more years, right? So it's like, can you be relevant again while he's still, before you have to pay him big, and you know, will he eventually be your first baseman? I'm a little surprised with Cabrera out that they haven't tried him there to see what you have there, because I think if he can't, he's much more limited.
He's going to have to play somewhere, and he's not a natural right fielder, although he did make a spectacular catch this weekend. But, you know, you look at guys like that, Darian, and if you trade them, you're trying to get young pieces, and you just hope they'll be half as good as the guy you're trading sometimes. So, we'll be right back in just a minute. Our Going Green segment. We're going to talk about Michigan State and some big recruiting news coming up on Press Pass.
At Graf's, we're kicking off summer right, and we're cooking up some hot car deals, too.
Order for another hot car deal, Dad.
You got it.
Get into a 2018 Equinox for only $136 per month.
That's a hot one.
And Graf will give you $2,000 more than the appraised value of your trade.
Or Graf will make up to 6 payments for you with Graf Lease Pull Ahead.
Looks like we need another hot deal.
Drive off a Silverado double cab for just $140 a month.
Hey, I want to try this. Hot deals coming up. Oops. Chris, it's all in the wrist.
Hello, my name is Dr. John Braccio, psychologist. If you or your child have problems with focus, inattention, sitting still, memory, concentration, these are traits of ADHD. Visit us at drjohnb.com.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin to the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
We interrupt your regularly scheduled program for this important nerd alert.
Oh, no! Oh, no! See, this is why I wanted to have a costume meeting.
This concludes your nerd alert from The Big Bang Theory, 5 nights a week.
Weeknights at 7 and 7:30 on Fox 47.
Every night is family night. Last man standing.
Weeknights at 6:30 on Fox 47.
Looking for a used car? Then look to Shaheen Chevrolet. We have Lansing's largest selection of used cars and trucks. Late models, low miles, and no worries. Because our GM certified pre-owned vehicles come with a detailed history report 2 warranties and included maintenance. You even get free OnStar and XM radio, all at Shaheen's great low price. And find special internet deals at ShaheenChevrolet.com. You get a better used car deal because you get a better used car at Shaheen Chevrolet.
You won't get it anywhere else.
Turn on the lights with Capital Lighting. Experience our full-service lighting showroom. Discover the hundreds of beautiful fixtures available to bring your home to life. Visit today at Capital Lighting of East Lansing, where bright ideas begin.
A woman chained to a bed literally is a scene from a horror movie.
You took part in a hit and then went to the victim's funeral.
I did.
Weekdays at 2 on Fox 47.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Going Green segment, brought to you by Graf Chevrolet, a trusted friend with 104 years in the automobile business. Stop and see Matt, Mark, and Greg on West Grand River in Okemos. They'll take great care of you, as they have on all 6 of my leases and purchases. Go green, go Graf.
Looking at all my offers and thinking about what's really important to me, and just talking to the coaches, it definitely was tough because I had all these great schools, great education, great teams, great players, great people. But I feel like Michigan State was the best place for me and my family to flourish and make me the man I want to be. I was definitely icing on the cake to put on the clutch. You believe about since you were a little kid. I just thank God for giving me this opportunity to be here today. Be great. I definitely just focus on me and my team and, making us better, getting ready for the season. So, that's why I did it, so I can just be the best team player I can be.
There you see Michael Fletcher, defensive end from Flint Carman Ainsworth. He is the 6th of 6 players to commit to Michigan State this week. And you think about Michigan State had 2 years ago with 11 sacks. Fletcher had 13.5 last year for his team. I think he might contend for a state career record by the time he's done. Darian Harris, we're going to talk about this class and the guys they got this week, especially Devontae Dobbs, a 5-star guy, a tremendous get. But is there such a thing as a Mark D'Antonio type of player? You hear that in recruiting, and some guys are fits, and some guys, they're not Michigan State guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's fits for any coach in America. And a guy that obviously was recruited by Coach D and gone through the process. It's a rigorous one. It's not one where they're going to tell you, how good you are all the time and this and that. You're gonna sit down. All you need to know is you're going to sit down with Coach Manning in his office with the door locked and have about 15 to 20 minutes with him telling you how it's going to be when you get here. And he literally says, if you want to take on this challenge, if you think you can handle it, come on. If not, we'll find somebody else. And I think that's how you have to approach these situations. You have to be as real as you get with these recruits. And you see sometimes, even doing those things, a recruit will get here and have to be de-recruited, as Coach Manny calls it. So, me myself personally, I've never been a fan of recruiting, and it's been exciting. It has been exciting, seeing all these recruits, seeing the 6 guys that committed this week, seeing everybody's level of excitement on Twitter. But then when you start going through the threads and you start seeing the back and forth with the schools and stuff, these kids haven't even played their senior seasons yet. You don't know what type of players these guys are going to be. Some guys are going to come in and be ahead of others. There's always going to be those diamonds in the roughs and gems in the recruiting class. So I've never been a fan of recruiting, especially in this day and age. It's crazy with social media and stuff, but that's just kind of what happens with the times.
I think recruiting is very important, but trying to interpret the recruiting is very difficult until you actually see the guys in uniform for a couple of years. Joe, it'll be 19 seasons by the time Devontae Dobbs actually shows up on campus. Since Michigan State had a higher ranked recruit, you have to go back to 2000 and Charles Rogers. What does it say that Michigan State could go up against all the schools in the country wanted this guy and decided he was going to be a Spartan?
Well, it's big. Now, first of all, I agree with everything Darian said. We've talked about this many times. Recruiting is a lifeblood. It's hugely important. But a program like Michigan State, a program like Wisconsin, Iowa, or on the flip side, programs like Notre Dame and Michigan, they've done a lot to me to devalue recruiting rankings over the years. Not that they mean something.
Right.
I've always thought the 5-star guys, they're not all going to hit, but usually, Jadeveon Clowney, okay, you can see that guy's going to come in and be awesome. Like Julio Jones is going to come in and be awesome. Like some of those guys are sure things. I'm not saying Devontae Dobbs is a sure thing, but it's big, and it's big for Michigan State to get an offensive tackle, offensive lineman. They haven't.
Yeah.
I was trying to think back in the last time they got a highly touted offensive lineman. I came up with Roland Martin. I think that was the class of '04, John L. Smith's best class, and he turned out to be a good player. Again, you know, the ranking, I think especially at that position or in the trenches, it's really hard to project what a kid will be. But when you beat out programs like that and you have this kind of momentum, I mean, it can't be a bad thing.
Graham, when you look at the 6 players who committed in the span of less than 4 days from Monday night to Friday night, who stands out to you, aside from Devontae Dobbs, as a guy that fans are really going to like?
Well, a couple of things. Offensive lineman fans usually don't like, right? But I do think they got 3 other offensive linemen total right now. I think that's important in this class. But I think Michael Fletcher, because when you look at where there are questions right now on the team, it is the offensive line, it's the ability to rush the passer. And when you have rush ends that are touted, that are coveted, forget the stars and all that stuff, but coveted by other programs, those are hard guys to get. When you look at his measurables, they look impressive. And again, we don't know what type of player he'll be, but defensive ends to me, guys who can rush the passer, guys who can protect your quarterback. Outside of your quarterback, those are your 2 most important positions.
I think a lot of people are really going to enjoy watching this Brandon Wright from Euclid, Ohio, a school that sent 7 players to college football this year. And Alante Brown from Chicago Simeon. You watch him, he's a high school quarterback, and he looks so much like Keyshawn Martin. He can really accelerate. Couldn't tackle him in a phone booth. I think when they get him returning kicks, he's going to make a big difference for this team down the road. We'll be back in just a minute, and we're going to switch sports, talk some basketball, the Moneyball, Sportswear, Pro-Am, coming up next on Press Pass.
Furniture Row is looking a little different these days. We've replaced former brand signs with bright new category signs to make it easy for you to find exactly what you're looking for. Our expanded selections deliver even more of the great style and value you've come to expect from Furniture Row. And you'll still find Denver Mattress, your Tempur-Pedic elite retailer. So come visit today's Furniture Row. Now more than ever, the destination for creating the home you love for less. Family owned and operated for over 45 years.
Hey, sleepyhead! The World Cup is here!
So wake up! Wake up! I've been up!
Because early kickoffs are blowing up your breakfast, your commute, your whole day job. Seriously?
Go, 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 go!
Stream all day, or just skip work, because who wouldn't want to do brunch with this guy?
Weekdays at 9 on Fox 47.
Team spirit. Face paint. More cowbell. Dean Trailway's Motor Coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, we have a taste for adventure, because the only way to know how good something can be is to go for it. Try our veggie smoothies, Island Green, made with spinach, kale, pineapple, banana, and mango. And Caribbean Sea Burst with carrots, mango, banana, orange, and goji. Adventure begins with never knowing until you try, but always expecting something great. Go for a veggie smoothie at Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Eat better, feel better.
Last Man Standing presents The World According to Mike Baxter.
What happened to men? Men used to build cities just so we could burn them down.
Masculinity.
The only time men should be dancing is when other men are shooting at their feet.
Marriage.
Passion in a relationship is never a good thing.
Competition.
If you're not hurting somebody's feelings, you're losing.
Tim Allen is The Last Man Standing.
College is important. Without college, there would be no college football.
Weeknights at 6:30 on Fox 47.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for our Lansing's Best segment, brought to you by the Greater Lansing Sports Authority. Bring thousands of athletes and teams to mid-Michigan for dozens of tournaments and special events. Hats off to everyone at the GLSA for showing just what this area can be. You see the other night, that's Cassius Winston getting ready for some Moneyball action. You see Aaron Brown and some of the players now that fans are turning out. I was amazed the other night, gentlemen, by the crowd. I thought, okay, no Miles Bridges. It turns out Miles was there, just not playing. No Jaren Jackson Jr., and that place was packed again. And, you know, everyone wanted to have their picture taken with the new guys. They want to see how they shape up. About Gabe Brown, what about Marcus Bingham? Don't know how this is going to be for the whole summer, but there is a lot of activity over there, and I think that for Michigan State basketball, Moneyball has been a very good thing. Joe, it was great to see Miles there the other night. How much do you think the love affair that fans have had with him and with Jaren Jackson Jr. started with Moneyball, getting to know him before he ever played for the Spartans?
You know, I hadn't really thought about that much, Jack, but I think it's a good point. I think the move to Aim High has been really good. It's allowed more of that. I mean, bigger crowds, more excitement, but it seems like they've been more engaged with the fans in the last few years, even before I left. So, yeah, I think it's a good starting point, especially for young fans. It's the one chance you have to really interact, and it's informal. And, you know, you get to see some good games, some not so good games, but you get to see good players, and it's worthwhile.
It's like Summer League, or, you know, everyone's trying to show off a little bit. Defense, if not illegal, certainly not encouraged. But you see some of these guys, Darian, and fans think they know them before they ever get to practice.
Yeah, and that's where it gets tough. I mean, you start, you know, seeing guys do some things that you know that Coach Izzo is not going to allow them to do.
You say Nick Ward running point and breaking a guy off the dribble.
I'm unfortunately not in town like I was last year to see all the games, but I'm still in paying attention to it. I think I saw, you know, Nick Ward had 44 points, I think, in the first game or something like that. So you know there's some times where, like Graham said, he's bringing the ball up, running some point forward, things like that. Coach Izzo's not going to allow that. But it does allow, like you said, fans to see some of these guys before they put on the green and white. And you think about a player like Miles Bridges or Jaren Jackson, you know, for Jaren last year, you got to see why he was as touted as a recruit he was. Even in the Moneyball game, you saw him kind of separate himself from some of the other younger players. And then the year prior, watching Miles Bridges, you know, fly through the air and do those things, you got to see that for 2 years. So seeing some of these freshmen get a chance to play is fun. And as we saw last year, you know, the first few games aren't as competitive. When it comes down to those championship games, when it comes down
it
gets very serious at the end. The last year, you know, the K. Felder game at the end, going up against
K. Felder was there on Thursday.
It gets exciting.
Draymond Costello, is that something that brings you
out? That's the maddest I've ever seen. Matt Costello, I thought he was going to just pound him.
I don't want to call someone out real, but I'm going to call him out. But I love this guy. But I saw Isaiah Dahlman have, I think, like 50-some in a summer league game going into his freshman year. So I remember writing about it. And, you know, you have to take things with a grain of salt.
It took me 3 full years to stop writing that Tum Tum was going to be a three-point machine.
Have you seen Nick Ward? When's the last time you saw Nick Ward?
That I saw Nick Ward, other than Moneyball the other night?
You were there the other night. How did he look to you? What happened to the rest of them? He said that he weighed 244 pounds or something like that. I want to see the picture of this Nick Ward against the one we saw 2 years ago.
Yeah, well, and that's
a different person.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's something to watch here. I mean, you can only get so much out of Moneyball, right? But a guy like him who flirted with the NBA, who may have been humbled by the NBA, now how focused, how driven is he night in, night out to get something out of it? And obviously, the more important games are probably running with his teammates in the summer over at Breslin. But
so give me one returnee, Graham, and one newcomer that you're going to be paying special attention to, and you think might tell us a little bit about how this season's going to go.
Well, I'm interested in a guy like Kyle Arns, right? I mean, here's a guy who has really been off the radar. I think could have helped them in certain spots last year. Was a really big-time athlete coming out of high school and's been hurt by injuries. Took the full year off. I think he's a guy who can really help them, and I'm curious to see what he looks like this summer. I think Aaron Henry, the kid out of Indianapolis, is a guy who looks Big Ten ready.
He looks like a complete player.
He does, and I'm curious to see against different matchups. You get to see a few of those. If you can get an inkling of what he'll be in the Big Ten this summer.
Darian, what can we learn from summer basketball besides watching guys dunk and shoot a bunch of threes?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of that, obviously, and you know, you can't expect much to learn from about a guy like Foster Loyer, because you're not going to get the Big Ten defense that he's going to have to face this year, which is one of the things that we're looking forward to seeing. So, you know, like Graham said, when he's going up against a Cassius Winston in practice or a Joshua Langford switches on them in practice, that's a lot different than what they're going to see in Summer League. But you do get to see competitive basketball. You get to see how these guys compete, and especially when it gets to the end. I mean, you get to see how much they care about winning. That's what I like to see, is how much these guys care about winning. Because last year, Tum Tum wanted to win this entire thing.
He certainly did. Joe, you remember Eric Snow when he shot 28% as a freshman at the foul line? Michigan State might not miss a free throw from their guard position in the last minute of a game this year. We'll be right back. We'll have our Take It to the Bank segment. All our predictions coming up next on Press Pass.
Where's the most affordable insurance rates in Lansing? Stop One Insurance Agency. Why? Because we get creative about saving you money. Auto, motorcycle, RV, home, renters, you name it. Doesn't matter who you are, you're approved. Call Stop One Insurance today.
You've heard the gimmicks. Push, pull, drag. Double your tax return. More than Blue Book on your trade. Blah, blah, blah. If you want a reliable car with no hassles, check out Team1Charlotte.com. Any car, any budget, no gimmicks. If you don't get your pre-owned vehicle from Team 1, you're just getting used.
As a nonprofit, Homeless Angels relies on your generosity to help us continue to end homelessness in the greater Lansing area. We need your help to rebuild and restore the faith in humanity through innovative ideas and programs. Visit sleepoversafely.com to see how you can help. For only 62 cents a day, you can help turn impossible into possible by restoring hope in the lives of others.
You're watching Fox 47's Family of Stations.
At Graf's, we're kicking off summer right, and we're cooking on some hot car deals, too.
Order for another hot car deal, Dad.
You got it.
Get into a 2018 Equinox for only $136 per month.
That's a hot one.
And Graf will give you $2,000 more than the appraised value of your trade.
Or Graf will make up to 6 payments for you with Graf Lease Pull Ahead.
Looks like we need another hot deal.
Drive off a Silverado double cab for just $140 a month.
Hey, I want to try this. Hot deals coming up. Oops. Chris, it's all in the wrist.
Hello, my name is Dr. John Braccio, psychologist. If you or your child have problems with focus, inattention, sitting still, memory, concentration, these are traits of ADHD. Visit us at drjohnb.com.
The student bookstores are Green and White Shop headquarters. Outfit your entire family with Spartan gear. We have a large selection of men's, women's, and children's clothing. Show off your Michigan State pride with new shoes, socks, hats, and more. Have your tailgate ready with MSU party supplies, car accessories, and dress your pet in green and white. We have gifts for students, grads, alumni, and fans. From Vera Bradley and Dooney and Burke to diploma frames and more. Always shop SBS for the biggest and best selection of green and white. Go green, go white, go SBS.
The best of the best go head-to-head on the biggest night of the summer. The MLB All-Star Game, July 17th on Fox.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for our Take It to the Bank segment, brought to you by Dart Bank, dedicated to meeting the needs of our banking community for more than 90 years, with 4 convenient locations in Mason, Holton South Lansing, Grand Ledge, and the expanded Home Loan Center in Frandor. That's Dart Bank for what matters most. Here you see Terrell Owens, going to be an NFL Hall of Famer. Where did that come from? At age 44, going up in a Summer League pickup game, charity game, slamming the ball home. Graham Couch, if we offered you $1 million to be able to dunk the ball left-handed, how long would we have to wait?
Well, left-handed layups are a challenge for me, and so dunking left-handed, which I can't palm a ball, and I've never been able to dunk.
The odds are pretty slim.
Right. Now, $1 million, I would do everything I could. I mean, the steroids would be, I would be being injected right now by Darian when you guys made commercial breaks. I would do everything illegally, substantively, whatever.
And those shoes from the 80s,
oh.
You know, those,
yeah, no,
shoes.
I would do what I can.
Right.
But the odds, you'd likely be waiting a long time.
Darian, you had $1 million on the line. Could you learn to dunk left-handed like that?
Oh, yeah, you give me a couple weeks.
Couple weeks, he's there. He's got the verticals. Joe? Could you pull one out of retirement for $1 million?
I drove to my old high school and showed my wife my old high school this last week. And summer of '93, last time I dunked a basketball, and I was outdoor courts at Prince George High School. So, I mean, if you give me another 25 years, I think I could get back there. Gotcha. About 35 pounds.
All right,
25 years, you'll be what, 60?
God, I wish.
Team 249, we are less than 9 weeks away from the start of college football. We'll get back to that next week. But it is time for all of our weekly guarantees. And Graham Couch, what can we take to the bank about the World Cup final 2 weeks from today?
Belgium.
Belgium?
Belgium. Get your waffles ready, right? I mean, Belgium, I think Belgium is the best team in this World Cup. Every time I watch them play, I'm more impressed. I think they're attacking the way they finish. There are a lot of good teams in this World Cup.
What about France?
France is phenomenal. They have not been consistent, and if I see it again from France, I may change my mind a little bit on them.
Brazil?
Brazil is another one of those teams that doesn't have a great finishing third, I don't think, this year. And there are a lot of those teams. Belgium is, to me, the most complete team in this World Cup. Belgium wins the World Cup.
Darian Harris, what can we bank on for the rest of free agency for your Los Angeles Lakers now that they have LeBron James?
Well, that's the key word now that they have LeBron James. So I like this one-word thing, so I'm going to go with Kawhi. Before the signing of LeBron James, I wasn't so sure. Now, take it to the bank and go out on a little bit of a whim sometimes. I'm a lot more confident because I think that Magic is more confident that if he throws the house at the Spurs, you still got LeBron coming. So it's all right. You could put a team around that. I think that with Paul George going back to Oklahoma City, we learned that you can't always bank on he'll just sign here next year, and that's what we have right now with Kawhi as well. He's going to come to LA next year no matter what. I don't think you bank on that. You throw the house at the Spurs, get Kawhi Leonard into a Lakers uniform this year.
Joe Rexroad, no pressure, but Graham Couch did give us the Tigers' 10-game losing streak. Darian Harris did give us the Capitals winning the Stanley Cup.
And I gave you Belgium, which is going to happen.
What can we take to the bank about MSU football and the SEC this season?
Wait, are we not having a Vanderbilt football segment, by the way? That's not happening? Can I make a pick on the
Tennessee
Commodores?
Titans, no.
Yeah. Well, okay, SEC football first. Take to the bank, Alabama will not lose a game until they get to the playoff.
Okay.
And I know Georgia's good on the other side.
Easy
Alabama's schedule is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's so easy. They are loaded. I mean, they're always loaded, but this is going to be a really boring year to me in the SEC because Alabama it's them and everyone else more than in a lot of years because I think Tua is going to be special.
And your take on Michigan State?
Michigan State will win one of the two, Michigan or Ohio State at home. If they win both, they will be playing for the playoff in Indy.
There you have it. We'll get back to our predictions a little bit later in the summer, but we got to get Joe as well. We've got him here. We will be back in just a minute, and we'll have our Cool and Smooth segment. All of our weekly award winners coming up next here on Press Pass.
Team spirit, face paint, more cowbell. Dean Trailway's motor coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
You're up. There's an old saying, you can never have too many officials. The age of the average official is 52 and getting older all the time. We're constantly recruiting new people, younger people to join us. After you register with the MHSAA, look on the website to find an officials association near you. They'll put you in a position to succeed as an official. We all learned a lot from high school sports, and officiating is a great way to give back to the game. There's help wanted. Just whistle.
Touchdown, Falcons.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
Watch World Cup Soccer now through July 15.
The Shaheen tent sale's been extended. So have the incredible tent sale deals. And you can still enter to win a new Chevy Equinox. Just come register under the tent. We'll draw the winner of the new Equinox on August 1st.
Win a new Equinox only at the Shaheen Chevrolet tent sale.
You won't get it anywhere else.
Hey, that's my line.
Get the best barbecue at Chuck E. D's in St. John's. They feature barbecue ribs, pork, chicken, beef brisket, and their most popular mouth-watering nachos. Chuck E. D's can cater your next event. Chuck E. D's Barbecue by the VFW in St. John's. Enjoy a great lunch of smoked perfection.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Cool and Smooth segment, brought to you by the 5 Culver's locations in mid-Michigan. Since 1984, Culver's has been delighting guests one meal at a time with scrumptious butter burgers and premium frozen custard. That's Culver's. Welcome to delicious. Here you see Philadelphia pitcher Vince Velasquez gets drilled by a line drive, scrambles, picks up the ball and throws it left-handed. Okay, this is a right-handed guy and then collapses. You can tell how much pain he's in, but watch this. He's got the glove on his left hand, has the presence of mind to go get this ball. I think I would have hit the ground first, and picks it up and fires a strike to first base. Wow. One of the best defensive fielding plays I've ever seen from a pitcher. And you see the shape of his arm afterward. All right, time for our weekly awards. Team 249, who has been as cool and smooth as a Culver's Mint explosion this week? Darian Harris, let's start with you on our play of the week.
Well, we got a little bit of big news before the before the show, so I'll stay true to what I was going to go with before, because we're going to get a ton of LeBron talk. But thank you, Magic, for pulling that off. But I will stay true to what my play of the week was going to be before the show, which was Benjamin Pavard from France, sending in one of the best goals I've personally seen watching live. First of all, that France, that France game was unbelievable to watch. You know, a 4-3 game against Argentina. You want scoring, you got scoring. Benjamin Pavard put one in, and if you get the angle from behind him, juxtaposed looking straight at the net, the way it curved in, starting left, curved in right, right off his right foot. I mean, it was absolute beauty of a goal. So if you haven't seen that, go check out that replay. Just got to type in Pavard on Twitter. It's pretty easy to find replays nowadays. But that was one of the best goals I've ever seen. Di Maria had one right before, and then Pavard one-upped him. Do
you agree with Graham that it's going to be Belgium?
I do. Okay. I do. Soccer's different, It's just Messi, Ronaldo, Neymar. It's not basketball. Just because you have the best player doesn't mean you're going to make it in. You got to have the best team,
which the United States obviously does. Joe Rexroad, what about our game of the week?
Well, I could go with my neighborhood cornhole tournament. I lost in a crushing final yesterday. I'll leave that out. And also, I thought we were going to do an Nashville Predators. No Predators
This is your
segment?
chance. No.
Well, no, I'm going to bring this to hockey because I feel bad for hockey today because LeBron is just going to mushroom cloud this. And this is locally of interest too because the Predators fans are really hoping that this could materialize. But John Tavares is a big-time signing for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Major signing, of course. From the Islanders? From the Islanders. That's a team now. You put him with Austin Matthews and those guys. That is a big time signing. So, game of the week, Maple Leafs making it happen.
You just made Neil Koepke very happy.
That's for you, Neil Koepke.
Graham Couch, what about our team of the week?
Well, I would have gone with Kurt Busch, maybe, and his team, which I think had a great final lap in the NASCAR race today, which I saw on Twitter. That's the only thing I know about it, and I don't know enough information to know that wasn't just a fake account. So I can't really officially go with that thing. To me, the team of the week has to be Russia in soccer because it is hard. There's a lot of pressure on you when you are the host nation. And I know people in this country are not usually going to get behind the Russians, but to beat Spain the way they did, to be as sound defensively as they were and as disciplined to win when they had their chances on the counterattack. There was a moment in the first half where it was just all Spain and possession, and that's in some ways the way they were playing defense. Even with the loss to Uruguay, to get out of the group stage, to beat Spain, at this point it's all gravy. You're in the quarterfinal. But there's a lot of pressure that goes along with being the host nation, especially when you are in a country of a dictatorship. So.
It helps to have PEDs and refs in your pocket, though, too, right?
No question.
Let's have an investigation of this. Oh, no, that's another Russian. Our player of the week, I should mention Francesco Molinari and the golf win today, shooting a 62 in the final round. Fabulous. But how about Mark D'Antonio? Last Sunday night, I'm talking to Tim May and about a quarterback who decommits and goes to Ohio State. And how are things looking at Michigan State? Now they get 6 commitments in the span of 4 days. Pretty impressive stuff, and has changed the narrative again for Michigan State football heading into this season. I want to thank Graham Couch, sports columnist for the Lansing State Journal, Darian Harris, 5-year MSU linebacker, Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year, Joe Rexroad. We'll be back next week with Show 250, everyone.
Working with the Ide Company, 1, is very easy to do. 2, they're very responsive to our needs. And 3, as we've grown as a company, they've listened to those needs and they've helped us plan out our future in terms of growth that needs to be done at this location.
It's just comforting to know I'm working with the Ide Company, knowing that they can accommodate our growth. In that way, they're an excellent partner.
Opportunities for retail, office, restaurant, and residential. Build the future as a member of the Ide Company family.
Send us your picks that honor our nation's veterans to YesPicks at fox47news.com. Sponsored locally by Halton Diamonddale Insurance Agency. Call your hometown team today.